Welcome back to my channel, MissRenaB. It's Jarena. So today's video is going to be just a chit chat, get ready with me type video. I know I have been gone for a little bit and I just wanted to kind of discuss what's been going on with my life, what's been happening with me, and just have general conversation. So if that sounds like something you all will be interested in, then keep on watching. All right, everyone, so this is my first chit chat, get ready with me. The only time I really do makeup is to film my videos, unless I do have like an event or something fun to do when I'm going out. So I don't really do makeup on a daily basis. I work from home, so that's not necessary. Even when I was going into the office, I never did my makeup. So yeah, I just wanted to sit down and just chat with you guys for a little bit. I'm actually doing my makeup to film another video for you guys. Yeah, the only time I really wear makeup is when I'm filming my video. So I just decided that I wanted to just have a little sit down talk with you guys, let you know what's been happening with me and what I've been up to. So let's get right into it. I am going to show you guys the products that I will be using. I'm sitting at my vanity. I have a lot of makeup. I used to actually do makeup more when I was in college, is when I really started getting into makeup and liking it, because it was just a hassle for me when I was younger, like in high school and stuff. I just wasn't into it. So I didn't get into it until college. So I am going to start out with my Fenty Beauty Easy Drop, the Blurring Skin Tint. This is in shade 17. I love this. This is usually my go-to makeup product. I do also use Fenty foundation, the matte foundation, soft matte, I think it's called. And I love that. These are really the only two foundations I ever really use, because I feel like the color match is like amazing. And then on top of that, the coverage is really good. So I like to blend out my foundation with just a foundation brush. This one is from Eco Tools. So this is what I'll be using. And I do actually like to have a mirror in front of me as well. So usually I like to use my handheld mirror, but since I don't have that, I'm going to use this one with my Anastasia Glow Kit. This is totally a throwback, these glow kits. So yeah, but anyway, guys, so what have I been doing? So honestly, I have been busy with a move. So I actually did move. I am in a new apartment complex. I'm in the same city and everything, just a different apartment complex because my lease was up. For those of you who don't know, which I'm pretty sure is pretty much everyone, except like my close friends and family, I actually had a roommate. So the apartment that I had previously was shared with a roommate, and it was a very big, spacious apartment. And so my roommate actually moved out before I did. And because of that, I was there by myself. And yeah, our apartment was, like I said, very big. So I had this big apartment to myself. And I was definitely not going to renew the lease. I know I wasn't going to renew the lease anyway, but obviously I'm definitely not going to renew it because it was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. With no roommate, and it's just me. So I am in a 1-bedroom. I'm very happy where I moved. I love my neighborhood. I mean, the move was the main thing, just packing, getting packed up, getting situated and everything. And as you can imagine, that's very stressful. That's very time consuming. But I've had videos planned for you all, and I'm excited to be able to film again. So let's just talk about some life topics. I wanted to talk to you guys about a few things, one in particular being careers, okay? So I graduated with a degree in health services administration and a minor in business. So that's basically what my degree is in. And I think I've just come to the realization that I don't want to be working in my field. I've actually had quite a few jobs. I feel like I've been out of college for 4 years now, and I feel like I've had probably a new job every year. And I just realized that, you know, I do not want to work in my field, honestly. I went to school initially to become a pediatrician. I was a bio major and I was wanting to get my doctor's degree and be a pediatrician. Just so you guys know, I am using the e.l.f. Camel, the 16-hour Camel Concealer in Deep Olive. This is the original one, I think. I know they have like a bunch of different new ones now, but this is the original. But yeah, so anyway, and I am going to use a beauty blender for this. Yeah, so that's what I was initially going for, was biology. And you know, biology is great and all, but when you have to take that in conjunction with chemistry, and you know, you're not even somebody who's that great at science anyway, you can imagine this was a nightmare for me. So I did not get my degree in bio. I ended up getting it in health services because that was the closest thing to healthcare that I could get. And I actually found the classes for health services very interesting, very intriguing, learning about healthcare and stuff. I felt it was a good match for me. But fast forward, you know, I've held quite a few positions with this degree, and I've realized that none of them have really stuck for me. None of them have really been like something I see myself doing long term. And so the company that I work for currently, I work for an insurance company, but I just do customer service. And what I've realized is that, you know, I don't have to have it all together. I don't have to have a career in mind as far as, you know, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Because I realize that I don't want just to be wasting my life away for a job. And I feel like, you know, the generation before us, like my parents were older, or they are older, and they were so used to finding one job, sticking with it for, you know, X amount of years, retiring. Like that's what they both did. And, you know, even my grandmother, she actually worked for her company up until like a year or two before she passed away. So very much, you know, that work mentality is in my family. Everybody, like I said, you know, has held jobs for long extended periods of time, and that's what they do, and that's just how it is. But that's only because I feel like we have so many more options as far as jobs we can do nowadays. Nowadays, you can Uber, you can make your own hours with that. You can Lyft, you can Uber Eats, you can, you know, do YouTube for a living and make good money. Whereas, you know, when our parents were younger, that's not what they had. So I definitely feel like our generation is like the work smarter, not harder generation. And I love that for us because, you know, a lot of people will waste their whole lives working at a job that they hate anyway, just to provide for their family. And I realize that I don't want that to be me, because I realize I don't really have a dream job per se. I feel like I just want to be doing something either that I love or that I'm really interested in, or I want to be doing something that just allows me to have more flexibility, which will make me feel like I'm getting more of a work-life balance. So I have yet to find that, but I do have some plans to work on doing some side things that will kind of give me more flexibility and give me more of what I want. I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter in the banana powder. So yeah, and I'm just gonna blend this in on the areas that I did my conceal and highlight with my beauty blender. So I'm just realizing that, and I just realized like, yeah, I just don't have a dream job, honestly, because I honestly don't really want to be working for most of my adult life, if I'm being real. If I do, like I said, work, I want it to be very flexible. I don't want to be tied to a job that I have to work a set amount of hours every single day. I want to be able to make my own schedule. So yeah, like I said, I'm working on that and finding something that fits that description. We shall see. And going back to the work smarter, not harder, I actually had a job where I was a really good job, you know. I was like, okay, this is probably what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 or 3 years. And I felt it was a step in the right direction. This was my last job before the one that I have now. Boy, oh boy, could I have not been even more wrong. That was probably the worst job I've ever had. And like I said, I've gotten a new job pretty much ever since I graduated. So I've had about 4 jobs now. And that was the absolute worst one. I was doing claims. I was miserable. So it was claims, but it was also like case management, which case management, I applaud all caseworkers and everything, because this job, it's so stressful because you get assigned like cases and everything on a daily basis. You have to keep up with the workload, and I'm a very organized person. I don't really struggle with that, but keeping up with the caseload and all the documentation and everything that I always had to review, it just began to be very overwhelming. And to be honest with you, the pay was nowhere near what we deserve to be getting paid for that. And the funny thing is, everybody in my department of this job was older than me, and they had all been there for years. And we would have like meetings every once in a while, or not meetings, but they would eat lunch together. And I would just hear them talking about, we're getting way paid under private businesses. We're getting way paid. Everybody knew it. And the turnover rate with this job was horrific. Like, as soon as people would be hired on, they'd be gone. They did training classes like every few months because their turnover rate was that high. And the training class that I came in with, I want to say, I don't even know. I know when I came in with certain people that were in my training, they ended up leaving and then I left. So, you know, it was just one of those type of jobs. Nobody wanted to do it for the money that we were getting. And mind you, this is my only job that I've had. This is the most money I've ever made at this point. So I was, you know, making more than I ever made, but I was also stressed out, and I was doing an unheard of amount of work. And I just realized, like, no, like, this job is not good for you. It's not mentally bringing you happiness. Like, when I tell you, I hated going to work every day. I hated the weekends being over, because the thought of going to work the next day brought me so much sadness. And it was just not really a good thing for me. And mind you, I am a very happy person. I'm a very chipper person. When I tell you, every day at that job, I was miserable. And it's just like that, it makes you realize, like, okay, life is more than this. And I am so happy I ended up quitting that job. When I tell you, it was the biggest relief. Like, you know, nobody was really surprised because people come and go, like I said. But yeah, I just figure every job that I've had, that I've left, I realized this wasn't for me anymore. And it might have served me at that time, and then, you know, time went by, and, you know, I've been there for like most of my jobs I've been at for about a year and a half, year and a few months. That job I was at for about a year and a few months. The job before that I was at for a year and a half. And then my first job out of college was a job I was an intern at, and I ended up taking on a full-time role after my internship because I graduated, and I was only there for about 6 months. So, you know, I've stayed for a decent amount of time. I'm not like a 1 month, 2 month type of person, and I quit. So I give it some time to kind of settle in. And I just realized I was not happy. I was not going to be happy. I was going to hate it. And I actually realized that very, you know, early on with this job. Like, when I tell you, during the training was like, I think 2 or 3 months. And it was a job that the longer you were there, the more training you had to have, because there was more things you had to learn. So after like a year and a half, they train you on something else. Then your cases start reflecting this other type of training that you had. And then after that, you know, it was just like that kind of thing. So it was something that was going to take me at least 3 years to be fully trained on everything. And I was not happy. So I just decided after like a year and a few months that this was not going to do it for me. I'm going in with my MAC Fix Plus. This is in, I think, lavender. So yeah, all that just kind of made me realize, you know, that, girl, you don't have to have a job that is the standard. You don't have to have a job that everybody deems as being a career job. You know, there's no real title that you need to have with a job, because just because you have it doesn't mean you're going to be happy with it. So the company that I work for now, I'm getting paid, mind you, the same exact starting pay that I got with my last job that was stressing me out, that required a lot of work. I'm getting paid the same thing, and I'm probably doing like a third of the work, because it's just not that type of job. It's customer service. So with customer service, you know, you do calls, chats, and emails. That's pretty much it. It's a very simple job, but it is just for an insurance company. So there's a lot of stuff about insurance you gotta know and about the different policies and stuff. But other than that, it's very simple. And I like it a lot more. I work again from home, so that was my main thing. I wanted to work remotely. And like I said, the pay for what I'm doing is excellent. So I've just realized that, you know, I feel like everybody, and young people especially, we always feel like we have to have our lives together. We always feel like we have to have a certain career. We have to stick with the norm, you know, because generations before did it and because, you know, our parents did it, but that's not the case. Do what you want to do. Be somewhere that makes you happy, even if it's a job that you don't really feel is, for me, I feel like having my degree definitely has helped in this job, but I don't feel I needed a degree for this job, you know, which is kind of like, well, dang, if I had just not gone to college and worked my way up, I could probably still have the same job. So that's something I think about a lot too. Like if you're debating going to college, make sure you want to go for you. And luckily I wanted to go for me. I wasn't pressured into going. My parents didn't say you need to go to college. Like I wanted to go for me. And so because of that, I'm happy I did. And I'm happy I have a degree, but I'm just saying, you know, I don't feel a degree is everybody's path. And if it's not yours, don't feel bad about it. Okay? Because these jobs out here will try you. They will overwork you and they will underpay you. And that's just how it is. Like we had the Great Resignation, right? Because people were finally having enough. Like the virus was going around, everybody's sitting here like, if I die tomorrow, am I gonna be happy? And then you had a lot of employers furloughing people and laying people off because they just didn't have enough work or whatever for them to do. All in all, do what makes you happy. Who cares if you have a degree? If you do, awesome, great, but a degree does really does not define you, and it does not mean it will be easier for you. I'm gonna just say that as well. So I am using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. This is in the shade Soft Brown, I want to say, and I just like to brush my brows a little bit and then I fill them in just a little bit where it's a little sparse. I have pretty thick brows naturally, but and I get them threaded, so I like to just get them threaded. I don't fill my brows in every day, but sometimes if I feel I need a little bit more coverage in certain areas, I will go ahead and fill them in just a smidget. So yeah, I like a pretty natural brow look. So yeah, that's how I feel about careers, honestly. Keeps getting caught in my hair. And that is what I feel about jobs. Is just as long as you're happy with where you're at and as long as you're doing something you love, who cares about the title? Alrighty, so I did also want to quickly touch on dating. Okay guys, so there's just this topic that I've been just dying to discuss. Not that it's in my own relationship. So as far as for me, if you guys watch Sweet Life on HBO, so my bestie actually got me into that, and boy, oh boy, I know it's been over for months now, but I just had to talk about it because it was the whole marriage and dating and having kids thing for me. What is this rush with wanting to have babies young? Like, I really want to know. Like, I honestly would like to know, what is this rush? Okay, because I have seen it all too well. Everybody wants to have babies, but they don't want to get married. And, you know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion on that. It's your life. Do what makes you happy and what you want to do. But me personally, I would like to be married before I have babies. I don't have any kids now. I'm 26. I'm in a relationship, which you guys I'm sure know because of my vacation vlogs. And I am going in with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel to go over that. Okay. So me and my boyfriend, we have had conversations about marriage. We've had conversations about children, and we're on the same page with that. And I'm so grateful because I think that's very important this day and age, is making sure your partner is on the same boat with you, has the same viewpoint as you on what they want. Me and my boyfriend both want to get married. We want to have children after we get married. We've discussed this. This is what we both want. this is what I've always wanted, just because the type of household I grew up in, my parents were married before they had me. And yeah, so that's what I saw growing up. So that's what I aspired to have. And that hasn't changed. But what is this whole, I want to have babies, but I don't want to get married, or I want to have babies before I get married type of thing? Like I said, everybody's entitled to their own opinion about that. Like, why is this like a thing? Because in Sweet Life, it was, I don't remember their names, okay, y'all, but y'all know who I'm talking about, was talking about he wanted to have a baby with this girl, but did not want to marry her right now or something. And she was like, well, I'm not having a baby unless I get married. I don't understand the idea of a baby is not as much commitment as marriage. I don't. I mean, don't get it twisted. Marriage is a huge commitment. It's a commitment before God. I get it. But I also feel like a child is just as big of a commitment, because it is, you're bringing a life into this world. Women go through so much with their bodies when they have children. There's women, obviously, postpartum hair loss, postpartum depression. Some women lose their teeth. It's like, who wants to just be pushing out people's babies if they have to take those type of risks? Like, this is a big risk for a woman health-wise, and some women died during labor. So let's not downplay having a child in childbirth. That's all I'm saying. Is I feel like people want to make it seem like a child is not as big of a commitment, and I'm just saying it definitely is a big commitment. And then of course, having to raise a child for their life is a lot of work. So I just never understood, like, I didn't understand why he was trying to downplay it in the show I'm talking about. I'm specifically referring to that as well. How he was trying to downplay like a child. Because I'm just like, I feel like being married and having kids are two very, are equally as, you know, on that same playing field as far as a commitment. To me, again, to me, that's how I feel. Having a baby and being married are both huge commitments. So I never understood why he was trying to downplay having a child. But to each his own, child. That's all I'm gonna say. To each his own. But that really got me thinking as well, why is everybody in a rush to have kids? And the only reason I say that is one of my coworkers, she is 27 and she just had her first child, and she has said like, I waited late to have a baby. How is 27 late to have a baby? Like, honestly, I'm gonna bronze my cheeks with my Bobbi Brown bronzing powder. This is in the shade Deep. Okay, yeah, so my coworker says this, and I'm just like, 27 is not old. We need to stop that. Like, honestly, like, be for real. And I'm using my Japonesque blush brush. I don't have the numbers for these, y'all, sorry. I buy all my makeup and stuff usually from like Marshalls, TJ Maxx and stuff, so I just get what I see. I don't really go out like looking for specific things usually. I feel like people are in a rush. Everybody's in a rush. It's almost as if it's a race. It's a race to have children young. It's a race to, we have our whole lives ahead of us, Lord willing. And I just feel that nobody should rush into anything unless they want it 100%. We're putting an age restriction on things because it's just kind of like, everybody feels like they have to be young when they have kids. They have to, you know, I want kids when the time is right for me and when God wants me to have kids, okay? You know, one thing about me is I'm not rushing anything, because again, having a child, making sure you have a child with the right person is more important to me than having a child right now. As much as I would love to have a baby, I also love my freedom. Like, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I love being, just having to take care of myself. I love that for me. I really do. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I do not, the thought of having a child right now is like way too much responsibility. Financially, it's a lot harder. Emotionally, you have to, you know, take care of a whole other human being. That's a lot of work. And I personally, I'm still a young adult. I know I'm 26, but I'm at the age where I still make mistakes. I'm still learning about myself. I have a lot more things to do with my life in my youth that I feel like having a child right now would be a big responsibility. I'm going in with the Benefit Bad Gal Bang mascara. And the funny thing is, when I was younger, y'all, I used to say I want to be 25 and married with kids. 25 and married with kids. Like, why would I? This is me at 16. Like, girl, 10 years from now, that's what you want? Absolutely not. I'm so happy that didn't happen to me. Like, truthfully, like, I do not aspire that right now over my life. I see it in the next, like, probably 5 years, 4 to 5 years, but I don't aspire to have it right now just because I'm enjoying my freedom. It's good to have a partner that's on the same page because, like I said, me and my boyfriend have this conversation a lot. Like, we want to be married and then we were going to start a family. And that's the decision we are making and we're having conversations about together. For other people, it may not be that. For them, they may want, you know, and like I said, to each his own. But this is just me. This is what I want. This is what my boyfriend wants. And this is what we're in agreement with. And this is our viewpoint on it and why we think that, because we both think we're just still young. And that's why I go into, like I said, back to that coworker who was like, oh, I'm 27. I waited to have kids this late. And I'm sitting there like, in what world is 27 old? But I just feel like I said, there's just this rush that everybody feels like they have to be young to have kids and they have to be, and you know. And I just feel like everybody should just have it at their own time and at their own pace and when they're ready for it. And for some people, that's a lot sooner. For some people, it's a lot later. And for some people, it's like right in the middle. And that's cool. But do things, I guess I'm trying to say, like, please do things at your own pace. I know with social media, especially and everything, they will have you feeling like you have to have kids early, be married early, you know, do things you may not want to do, smoke, drink. Like, the influence is always out there. And I definitely feel like it's a lot harder, I know, for younger people this day and age with social media. Even for myself, you know, I take influence from social media as well. But it's important to do what will make you happy and will work for you and not anybody else. It's not a competition. It is not a race. You got your whole life ahead of you. You know, everything is gonna work out on the right time. If you believe in God, I do, it's gonna work out in God's timing. So I think it's just very important to, you know, remind people that, like, if I ended up being 25, married with kids right now, I would not have done half the stuff that I've done because I'd be so busy taking care of my family, which I just don't want right now. And again, this is a personal preference. I know not everybody feels this way. I'm not trying to pass judgment on others or push beliefs on other people. That is not the case. I'm just saying what works for me. So I am going in with the NYX lip liner. This is in the shade brown. So I am going to line my lips with this. Clearly this is my favorite thing because look at how small this pencil is. It's so small. So I went ahead and got that together. So yeah, I'm gonna line my lips. But yeah, guys, those are just a few of the things that have been heavy on my mind because I just feel like, you know, I see it and I just want to know, like, I feel like it's just this social media, this day and age we spend on social media. We spend so much time on social media. We track people's lives, you know. It's just like, it's just a lot. Now I'm gonna go in with my favorite color combination ever with this lip liner. It is the Fenty Glow. This is the original Glow. I know they have like all the other different types of them, like the creams, the heat ones, but I like the OG Fenty Glow. Wow. My favorite part about makeup is lips. And this is my favorite lip to do. I have so much lip makeup and this is my only thing I love to do. Is just do the, is just do this, so that is it for this look, guys. It is just very simple. I do the basics when it comes to my makeup. I am not a professional. Don't try to be taking tips from me because I'm not a professional. I do what I see everybody else doing. I've been doing makeup like this since college. Nothing has changed for me. Just wanted to do a quick chit chat, get ready with me, and just discuss some little various topics. If you have something nice to say, leave a comment below. Leave your opinions in the comment section too. Like I said, I'm not judging anyone. These are my opinions. If you have differing opinions, tell me about it. If you did enjoy this video, then I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.